There is no engine like this in drift. And there definitely is no engine like this in drift with somebody like Adam driving it all the time. Maybe up some horsepower, even more.
Never hurts, right?
Bigger, badder, better stuff. How do you like that? All right. You know what I like about Adam LZ? They actually kept the crate I send the engine in to send it back in. That's awesome. Now, let's get after this thing and start seeing what the heck is going on. Drift carb glory. Oh, look at
MLZ air freshener.
I need to get me. I need an air freshener job too. I think that'd be pretty good. Oh, look at, he's got all sorts of air fresheners on. Well, at least it's. Yeah, I don't want that to be awkward, but.
What does it smell like? Does it smell like Adam?
You remember?
I don't know what Adam smells like. Do you know what Adam smells like?
Just saying. I don't know. It smells like vanilla. It's
Adam,
definitely going in cherry.
Adam, do you smell like vanilla? I don't smell like vanilla. Alrighty, so we are here with the 632 big block Chevrolet. This thing has been absolutely perfect and sweet. I think we're gonna find out that this thing is still absolutely perfect and sweet, except for one thing. He obviously hurt a lifter. Now you probably saw that on Adam's video. So we're gonna go through and do an inspection on what's going on, make sure there's nothing else, because I wanted to see it anyways, because there is no engine like this in drift. And there definitely is no engine like this in drift with somebody like Adam driving it all the time. So we're going to inspect this because I really want to see exactly what all is going on. And that was always part of the deal, is we want to inspect, see what's going on before we do the big push to start selling these through Drift HQ. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to diagnose, and I am 98% sure of what's going on with that lifter. So let's get after the teardown. Kyle's going to come over here and get after it, and then we'll go over and diagnose this whole lifter situation.
It's time.
All right, as Kyle's got the intake manifold off here, they already had the intake off because they took all the lifters out of it and sent it to me separately. We can see right away that I think there is a lobe that is like questionable in here, but that's some stuff that we're gonna find out. The lifter boards look great though, at least tentatively. And then LZ wants us to incorporate all this stuff, the alternator and these high grade washers and bolts and steel plates into a billet motor plate. So we're gonna make this really nice looking billet engine plate for this. So we'll kind of keep this all spaced up so it's all the same, Kyle. So because we'll hand this off to Brock in the CNC department and have CNC Brock turn it into his problem so he can figure it out.
You're welcome, Brock.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. It is so beautiful. Look at that. Look at the crosshatch still in that bore. I don't know if you can see it good on camera or not.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to take this thing apart and see what the actual skirts look like, what the rings look like. It's looking really good so far. Not too bad. Little bit of wear. Have to get to the bottom of that and see what all the other rod bearings look like, but really not too bad. It's not too horribly worn. Could potentially be an oiling issue you might have to address, but I don't know. Let my dad look at it. Not too bad. About the same as the rod bearings.
All right, so we're here for another Vyper chair giveaway, the best chair slash stool you're ever gonna have in your life. These things are awesome. We just randomly are selecting somebody that buys merchandise for us. And the newest one today is, let's find out. Geez, Nate, gotta hold it up there a little higher. All right, is Alan White from West Virginia. All right, I'm gonna try giving Alan a call here and see if he is available and tell him he won a Vyper stool. This thing is sweet. All right, let's see if I can get him on the phone.
Please leave your message.
Oh, I guess we're not getting him on this one. We're just gonna text him. I thought I'd give him a call, but we'll just text him instead. But anyways, we're gonna get this chair sent out to Alan White. Now, coming up, we got one more chair we're gonna be giving away to one random order, just random order that enters for the Above Average Joe giveaway. So let me put this to you this way. You could buy a couple t-shirts or t-shirt and a hat or maybe a AN wrench or the flashlight, something like that. You entered to win $10,000 or the Above Average Joe nitrous oxide small block Chevrolet Glory and win a chair. How sweet is that? For just buying something that you really want anyways. It's awesome. All right, so back to the video. All right, so detailed analysis, and I'm gonna show you the whole analysis process of live. Like I am looking at this stuff and videoing it live. All right, so let's go over and so Kyle's got this thing all apart. So the first thing we'll do is I'm just gonna look at the block, go over stuff real quickly. I can see real easily that I mean, this thing still has crosshatch in it. It looks very nice. Cylinder bores look good. Gasket surface is nice. That was not a big deal. I know this had a hurt lifter, and we'll look at that real quick. But I also know that it did not do any damage to the lifter bore. All right, so I can look in there. I can still see crosshatch in the lifter bore. That all looks fantastic. We'll go in and look at bearings here in crankshaft in a minute. Let's roll this block over. Everything looks nice here. Oh, also very nice that the caps are not walking around or doing anything funny. Fantastic. That looks great. Bottom of the cylinder bores. Okay, this thing looks mint. No problem there. Let's look at main bearings. Now, main bearings right here. That's nice, 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 nice. All right, those look perfectly used like normal. Now this would be in the block side. So this little discoloration here, that is a factory coating. So nice, nice, nice. Looks good. All right. Now I know that since the main bearings look nice, the crankshaft's going to be nice. Rear thrust bearing. Now one thing that I was pretty interested in was because how much clutch action the car gets, you know, clutch kicks and everything that's going on with that. And especially when it had knocked the flywheel off of it. The flywheel bolts got loose and that was running around on there. So a lot of times that would do damage to the thrust bearing. And these things look like brand freaking new. This would be the side that the crankshaft actually pushes on, and it has so minimal amount of wear on there. That's impressive. So even though there is so much clutch kicks and so much action going on, although that is primarily one of the cool things, as I'm understanding it, is that you don't have to do all the clutch kicks on it because it makes so much torque. You're just whacking the throttle. So maybe that could be it too. Never know. So main bearings look great. Main caps are fine. Crankshaft here is looking very nice. Still got a little oil film on it. Haven't even cleaned this up yet. This thing is looking great. Now this is a 4 3/4 inch stroke scat lightweight crankshaft. Very nice piece. Now you notice that I couldn't take we couldn't take the flywheel off of this because I made a whole little retainer plate for LZ, and they welded the bolts into the retainer plate. There's no way of getting this apart. Not only will it never loosen up, it ain't ever coming apart until you cut that all off. And it's like, all right, it's on there. It's nice. The crankshaft is perfect. We don't even have to polish it. We don't have to do anything. But I'm not even going to take that flywheel off. So it is on there permanent until it's not. I mean, you can make anything not permanent. All right, so that looks good. Let's look at pistons and rods, and we'll make our way into the valve train. I knew and believed that there wouldn't be anything going on there, and it is. This is just a little bit of dirt, not a big deal. Bearings look nice, what I would expect, and a little bit of more wear than what I would normally see in a drag race application on the cap side. Let's look at the rest of these things. The pins feel really good. Rings look good. Rings don't have but minimal wear. That's really nice. Like I said, skirts look good. Top of the piston looks really nice. All right, now let's look at the rest of these. And the first thing we do is I'll feel for clearance or any kind of issues. That feels nice. Look at rings, feel the rings, look at end gap in the rings. So what you're doing here is when you're looking at end gap in the rings, and the free end gap, okay, so can you see that end gap there? The free end gap, if they were like way down in here, that means that cylinder temperature was high enough that it actually took tension out of the rings. They're not. They're way out there. That looks really nice. That's really good. So the rings have not lost any tension, which means, and according to the bearings, everything, the way everything looks here, rings, bearings, the skirts, tune-up spot on the money. Good job, Freddie. Okay, so that's looking good, but let's check every one here. So we want to make sure there's nothing funny. This little bit of extra wear here, and what I mean by the extra wear, it's most of the time that bearing in a drag race application will look like it's untouched, like totally untouched. So what's going on here, the one thing is unchangeable, and that's that it's at such extreme RPM changes and minimal rev limiter hits. So it's revved up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's so much going on there. I think that's why we see that little bit of loading, it's a better word for it, on the cap side. But that's pretty good. I mean, I'm happy with that. The second thing though is that is changeable is I think this thing possibly I 100% believe that this thing would respond really well to smoil. I think it needs. I think it has a little bit more. We'll go through the valve train because that's usually where it'll show up even more. But it's not bad. Everything here is so nice, especially on the skirts and everything there. And bearings are nice. I mean, they're nice, no problems. But I think we could even get these better with the smoil, with our oil. But we'll talk about that here in a minute and look at that some more. But as you can see, like I said, piston skirts, bearings, pins, rings. Yep, everything feels nice, looks nice. Oh, I was also talking about wear on the ring. So if you look very closely, there is a little shiny line down below my fingernail, and then it's black up there. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. That is the actual wear on the ring. So this is a hook groove ring, which means that as this piston goes down, the second ring scrapes oil down, okay? And so the hook groove ring actually looks, it actually looks maybe like that, okay? So when the ring goes down, it's scraping on the cylinder wall like this, okay? Now, if you accidentally put that ring upside down, it takes all the oil and forces it right past the top ring and goes right into the combustion chamber, all right? The ring is nice. They're not beat up. They're not worn. That's nice. So it's got a really good hone pattern on it. I like that. Of course it should, because we did it here. The better. As I'm looking through everything here, it's just nice. That stuff all looks really good. So I'm happy about the rotating assembly so far. Everything looks really good there. There's no issues, no problems.
Is there any changes you think you would make? You think you're going to make?
We'll get Adam on the horn here in a minute, and we'll talk to him and see if there's anything that he's wanting to change. But let's look at everything, and I'll go over it with him first, and then we can talk about that. But that's nice. I say block, crank, rods, pistons. Perfect. No problem. All right, so let's go to the next thing on the block here, which is let's go ahead and get into the camshaft. So the camshaft that had a bad lifter on it is, and you can just barely see it, it's this one right here. Okay, so that lobe, so that is, let's look here. So that's the third lobe in from the back. So 1, 2, 3. So that is cylinder number 8 intake. Let's look at this again. You get my finger in it, or you could look at it here. Yep. This is cylinder number 8. That's the intake lobe. So number 8 intake is the one that had a problem. 3 is an intake lobe, and 1 and 2 is an intake lobe. So to give you, for instance, we'll measure this up, and we got 45. and 45. All right. So even though you can just barely see it, never even touched the camshaft. Looks like it has a little bit of damage, but actually doesn't. So we'll actually just kind of polish that out. So that's great. I think camshaft, perfect, no problem. So we're trying to figure out why did it go through everything, see what's all going on, and then work our way into why did it have a lifter failure. Okay, camshaft, sweet, no problem. So you can also see here, now this is a roller bearing cam journal. So what it does is it does a really good job of controlling oil flow, because now there's no oil that needs to go to the bearing. Believe it or not, these bearings only run on splash, just oil mist that's in the air. There is no pressure fed oil bearing, so it helps with the whole oiling system, keeps oil at the crankshaft, keeps oil at the bearings, and doesn't have any wear. So as of yet, could happen at any moment in time, could happen in tomorrow, whatever. I've never had one of these fail, but very, very good. So something different. So camshaft, what rides on the camshaft next? Lifters. Here is our bad lifter. This is the dilemma right here. Now, let's see if you can hear it. That thing has totally destroyed the bearing in there. Well, I'll take that back. It's not totally destroyed the bearing in there, because it is it hasn't actually blowed the wheel up or spit any of the bearing out of it, which is good. So, but that one is definitely bad, but never looks like it actually stopped rolling. As a matter of fact, it actually rolls really quite nice. All right, so let's check these other bearings. So I'm going to go through and actually physically grab the wheel and check it. See what's going on, see if there's any play in it, see if there's anything going on. Wipe it up. This would be the exhaust. That feels fine. All right, look for any weird patterns. Everything looks good there. Feels nice, rolls nice, don't feel any extra clearance. That feels great. All right, so those feel like $1,000,000. I mean, those are nice. I don't feel anything going on. There's no excessive clearance. Never looks like it's ever lost control of the valve in the pushrod cup area. All looks really nice. All right, so I'm gonna say we don't have a mass lifter problem, like it destroyed all the lifters. No. It hurt one lifter. In fact, in that bearing, the wheel still feels real nice as it rolls. It just has excessive clearance. All right, so let's take a look at there. That seems right. Now on let's look at rocker arms. Well, first let's look at push rods. Now, these are a really good Manton push rod here, and these have a hardened tool steel tip on it. They don't wear out, point blank. And you can see these things look really, really nice. They're actually not shiny because they really don't wear out, and they don't wear in either. So that looks great. No problem. I've already looked through those. Everything's happy right there. No problem. I don't know what rocker arm it was that was on here, because all rocker arms are the same rocker, intake and exhaust, and he didn't label them for me. He did take them apart. He did back off all the adjusters. So the way to properly take a rocker arm off is roll the motor over until there is lash. As soon as there's lash on that, when you roll the motor over, take the rocker arm off. Okay, don't loosen that adjuster nut, because they need to know where it was at. Then I could tell you which one it was. and it can see if there's anything weird going on right there. And all of them are loose. So I know they did. They just got it close and then backed them all off to make sure they had lash off. But I wanted to see where they were at. Not a big deal. And then in the bearing, so this is the trunnion and the bearing right there. So there's a roller bearing that is inside here too. A little flat cage bearing. And I'm going to check for any kind of weird clearances, anything that's going on there. And again, this is where I can see if there's a rocker arm change going on by where they've adjusted the adjusters at. Now these have clearance built into them, obviously, because it's a roller bearing, it can't be 0. And everything's feeling good so far. Then we'll come in and we'll check the tips and make sure that that feels good. Yeah, I think that still feels good. Okay. All right. All the shafts feel nice. They all turn well, have good clearance in them. I'm going to check for the roller tip on the rocker arm. So that also is a small roller bearing that's in there. That feels good. That feels good. Actually, take it back. I'm sorry. There's not a bearing in these ones. These are a non-bearing, so it's two unlike materials in that roller tip. So far, so good. Everything feels really nice. All right, last one. All right. So I don't see any indication of what would cause this as of yet, and no indication of anything else moving around or being affected by this. So that looks good. That looks good. All looks good. It says blah, blah, blah. All this stuff, no big deal. Rocker arm stands. Valves all look fantastic. Really well seated. Everything looks good there. Camshaft's fine. All good there. Cylinder heads look pretty spectacular. These are really nice AFR 18-degree head. Super happy with these things. They look, god darn, they look great. Head gaskets. These are Cometic head gaskets. This is just a little bit of the black coating that's on them. Definitely no leakage that I can see. Everything looks nice there. Yeah, that looks great. Looks nice. Yeah, everything looks great there. All right, so now we've gone through cylinder heads, all the valve train except for the last thing. So this is where I'm thinking it is, but I've had them, the guys over at LZ's, checking valve spring pressure, because that's one thing that I'm questioning. I just want to make sure that we have the right camshaft profile, the right valve spring package on it, because if this was going to hurt anything, it would hurt in the areas of where it was at. Valve springs, rockers, valve train related stuff. Because there's big stuff that's moving, okay? This is like 5 2JZ valves, okay, in one. All right, so that's a big unit right there, right? Even the exhaust side, I mean, that's just, just bigger, badder, better stuff. How do you like that? All right, so everything's looking good there, but our next thing, valve springs. So let's go over here. I put all the valve springs on, and what we're gonna do is I'll show you how this works. So this is the valve spring dyno. Now this is using a pack spring and a pack retainer. Very nice, good pieces. But I want to see if something happened, did the valve spring go away that let it beat up the valve train or let it beat up that lifter. If that was the case, we know we got one bad lifter, all the rest of them are mint. Possibly got one bad valve spring. We'll see. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to test each individual valve spring. So these are the intake valve springs, the way they were on the engine. These are the exhaust springs the way they were on the engine. So this is one intake, one exhaust. 2 intake, 2 exhaust. 3 intake, 3 exhaust, and so on. All right. So we put the spring in there. We go ahead and hit record. And what that's done is that has recorded all of our data, all of our information. So that's at installed height all the way down to open height at 891. All right. And then we're going to, so let's put it, the red line right there is a spring that we just did, that one. All right. Now let's do exhaust number 1. All right. That's where that's at. Let's go to intake 2. All right, so we just ran all of them through here. Now in graph form, you can see where, oh, what the heck? All right, back. Computer crashed, but it still saved it. Adam LZ. All right, so we can see here, everything is, that is 1 intake, 1 exhaust was right there. 2 intake, 2 exhaust, 3 intake, 3 exhaust, 4 intake, 4 exhaust, 5 intake. So you can see the very light deviation. Now if we just come up here and we go to report, we can see this whole thing. And oh, see, it didn't do 3 intake. Let's do 3 intake. That's the one that I screwed up, I thought. Let's go back. Let's do 3 intake. Yeah, that's why it's all gray. All right, record. Bing. Record. There we go. All right. Now we'll get out of there. And report. There we go. All right, now here is each individual number. This is the spring rate. That is how many pounds of force it moves into. So it starts here. What is that rate in between the two? Okay. So there's our open force. This is our that's how our lift right there. Our seated force. Now this is what we're looking at to do a real quick reference. We set these things up at 365 to 360 on the seat. So now it is 356, 347, 57, 53, 59, 53, 45, 58, 50, 52, 46, 5, 54, 46, 54, 39, 59, 345. So all of those things there's only a spread. So the maximum spread was only 13 pounds of pressure. So 13 pounds out of 356 is not 10, would be, because that'd be 30. So that's less than, that's about 4%, just a 4% deviation. So 4% deviation is nothing. That is pretty normal just in taking brand new springs out of the box, running them for as much as we have. Nothing, there is no such thing as identical. They can't be perfectly identical. They're two different parts, so they're going to be a little bit off, maybe a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, whatever. Even brand new. And then after we run them, they just get hit like that. So that's pretty good. So our nonlinear percentage, most was at 2.5 nonlinear percentage. All of these things are basically telling us there is no bad valve spring, which is good. I'm very happy actually that there is no bad valve spring, because then I would have to go back through and refigure out what spring we need to use. This is totally acceptable to lose 13 pounds of pressure, and actually it's lost, at 60, at 45. Well, 45 would be 15 pounds pressure, so that's nothing. So everything is really acceptable right there. That's good. That is normal. That's the way it should be. And for as much runtime and at high RPM as what this has been, I feel real good about it. All right. So let's go back over here and look at this lifter thing again. So we know that this lifter right here, our bad guy, that is bad, was in this bore. Grab one of our lights that we have here. Got the laser pointer. That hole right there is the one. And then it can be, oh, the black light, which interesting, there's nothing on here. That's shining up the black light, but that's our light, regular light. And that lifter bore, yeah, looks perfectly fine. You can see a little bit of wear where it's worn through the crosshatch, but that is to be expected and is normal. Nothing looks abnormal there. Our lifter, even with no oil, feels fine. Well, I am interested to hear your comments. The one thing that I am going to be sending down to Adam is this right here, Smoil. Now, this isn't just a sales pitch, because actually you can't buy it just yet because it's not completely for sale yet. But I am going to be sending this down there to Adam because I think that this oil, if you haven't seen anything about it yet, you really need to check it out. Go to Driven Racing Oil. They're making it for us. This isn't just some oil that I put my label on. It is totally different. Let me show you just a little bit. All right, so this oil is 2050. Now, we specially formulated it. I've worked with guys at Driven, Bill, the oil nerd.
It's 2560, isn't it?
It's 25. What did I say it
You
was?
said 2050.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's wrong. It's 2560. 60 weight oil. Now, this oil is very specific, made for big horsepower, big clearances, alternate fuels, E85, methanol, but works on pump gas, works on anything, but is made for big horsepower stuff like all my SMX, like all this turbocharged, supercharged stuff. It has just been phenomenal in all our testing. Little stuff that you can see here always cracks me up. That is it. It is a blue oil. Made for us by Driven. Now, this is the one thing that I really like about it that I think can help in all these situations. We did this, it's got to be going on 12 weeks ago now. 12 weeks ago, I swirled this around in a beaker just like this, and then drained it all out and just had it setting upside down. Now, check it out. That oil film, after all of this time, that one drop right there, actually I moved it to the side so it started running, has just been on there. You can see that is simply amazing that it leaves this oil film on. So one of the things that we had done in particular was on these methanol motors, not so much on like a deal with Adam LZ here, is that engines will get shut down cold, and then they would actually have a weird little condensation, especially on methanol. Okay, so there's like methanol and water in the oil all the time, and they rust. Has a very high-end, top secret squirrel. I don't even know what it is. Bill won't tell me. Says he has to kill me. Some kind of rust inhibitor that is not in anything else. It is very high-end that is in here too, and something that is making it tack. I don't know what the correct terminology is, but how is that? And I had other oils. I wish I would show you, but all they just come up as clean beakers. If you put oil in a beaker like this and you turn it upside down, you come back in a week or two and there's nothing there. It's all gone. It just drains right out. There is no film like that that's left on it. So there's something in there that's doing that. So anyways, really, really good application. I'm going to be sending this down to Adam. I'm going to make sure that he does that changeover. And so I think let me get Adam on the phone here and see if he's got a second, and we'll talk about it real quick. I'll see if he wants to, be on camera, because I know he's a little bashful about that kind of stuff. He probably does, he might not want to get on there and be talking.
He's still new to the whole thing.
He's still new to the whole thing, yeah. All right, Freddie's on the plane. Adam hasn't called me back yet, so let me go over just a couple other things with you on how this stuff all works, all right? If you don't remember or you didn't know yet, You know, this thing has a really elaborate oil system on it, which is really cool. Billet oil pan, with billet oil pump, with all separate sections in here. Very cool how this all works through here. All these little passages that all come up through here. If you want to see more about this, you'd have to go back to the original build video that I showed you on this. We'll put it right up here in the corner. You can see there, oil pan, oil system, very nice stuff. Oh, and of course our billet intake manifold. So this is one of my billet intakes, and I'm absolutely ecstatic at how well this thing is working in this application, because technically I built this for a boosted intake manifold, but I knew that it would work here, and I thought, well, the worst case scenario was it would be a little lazy on the bottom. Not the case.
BMW. We understand that the rotary super is fine, but wants to create some diversity here. And this is kind of a dawn of a new era of big block drift car. This is something that has been murmured about, but look at the placement of this car. Ripping into that last outside zone, Adam LG, and the big super baby.
This thing is insanely good. Everything is just really nice. And Freddie has a fantastic tune going on with it right now. And I really like and appreciate the way they're working the rev limiter and rev limiter hit and trying to keep it off the rev limiter. Regardless of what you might think, putting engines on a rev limiter is not good for the engine. Okay, will they tolerate it? Sure. Forever? No. It is not really a good thing to do. It really makes valve train go crazy and just loses control, and it's not very good. So I'm very happy that they're doing that, as evidenced by we would see that in the valve spring, because it really destroys and hurts valve springs when you get up on the rev limiter, and it really hurts bearings and other things in the short block. So all that stuff looks really fantastic. Oh, and just something else totally unrelated to Adam LZ, but I just got these heads and from Pooper's Heads, because believe it or not, we cannot do everything here. I just can't do everything. So we have this one job in here that is just had to do a cathedral port, and it's like, I don't have a cathedral port, and I go, you know what? Hooper's Heads, Sean Hooper, he does stuff for Deal Brothers. They're my buddies, and their stuff works really well. So I just call up Sean. So I call up Sean. He goes, yeah, no problem. We can do a set of heads. So this is literally unboxing video on. Now this is what I told him was, I said, look, we can do all the valve job, we can do all that stuff. I just need somebody to port these heads. I do a full port on a 243 stock head. So this is 243. So this is me. I have not looked at these yet. So I know they're not going to have a valve job on them, which is fine. And what it does have, oh, now I got this thing probably knock over LZ's crankshaft here in a second. Here, you want to close that box? There we go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's nice work. All right. Very good. So I'm going to resurface these. He did exactly what I asked him to do. And in fact, he did resurface the intake flange, because that's the shiniest thing I've ever seen, along with the exhaust flange, and cleaned up heads. I don't think these are brand new. I don't know. Maybe they are. They're fine though. Huh. Either way, I just got a set of these and sending him the cores, so I don't have to port them. And now I got a really good port job. He has flow numbers and everything on these for a nice full port 243 cathedral port. He does a lot more stuff too over there. So anyways, I appreciate Sean getting these done for me, and we'll just button these up, put our valve job on it, and resurface the head, and this thing's ready to roll. But it saves me a lot of time developing a port, then running it through the CNC machine, and we just don't do a lot of these. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of stock cylinder heads. And Sean does a lot of these and does a lot of other stuff too. But anyways, thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Yeah, looks good. I like it. Hey, boss, how you doing?
Hey, man. What you got for me?
All right. So we went over a little bit on all the big block stuff, where you're at there. And I know, so went over valve springs, great. Everything looks mint. I think it just had a random lifter that just flat out failed. Maybe some oil stuff. But I know that we were talking about, and you were talking about wanting to maybe up some horsepower, even more.
Never hurts, right?
Never hurts. So I think we were talking about want to up compression ratio.
I mean, how high can we go? What is it now, and what can we go to?
We're at 13 right now, and I mean, I'd feel like really safe at 14. I think maybe we could go up to 15. Maybe put 2 points in it.
I mean, look, you're the big block guy, so you know. I know we got good fuel, but I don't think I've ever had anything higher than 14 to 1. So.
Well, before I pull the final trigger on the actual compression, we'll talk to Freddie about it and see what he wants to do with it, what he thinks it can get away with. Since he's doing the tune on it, I think we can. I was pretty pleasantly surprised at how well it handled 13, so that was no big deal. I don't know. We can shoot for 14. Play it safe, 14 and a half, something like that.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool. We'll talk to Freddie and kind of get his input on it. He'll know.
Okay, cool. And then wanted to do like the line-to-line coating so we could try to increase or decrease our pan breathing, our crankcase evacuation. Okay, so I'll get some pistons expedited. We'll talk to Freddie real quick. I'll get pistons expedited, and line-to-line will expedite for me, no problem. And we'll get this thing back together, but this thing is looking mint. I got a video coming out on it tomorrow. So, yeah, I got a video coming out tomorrow with the whole, well, you guys will see it right now, but you'll see it tomorrow. Discussing the whole thing and giving the whole breakdown analysis. I mean, feeling every part, looking at every single thing, showing every bearing, every lifter, everything. So it's pretty cool. I'm super happy with it. I think it's great. I think if it would not have been for that lifter, I think we'd be running this thing right now. Still.
Yeah, I mean, hey, mind you too. The lifter really did no damage. So thanks to you teaching us how to check lash, we caught it early.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it didn't do any damage. It didn't hurt the camshaft either, so that was great. So
yeah.
We'll save that thing. So, all right, man. I'm going to get after it. I'll let you go back to your business. Thanks much.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I'm excited.
All right, see ya.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so there's Adam. So that's what we're going to do with this thing. So we're going to throw some more compression ratio. I will talk to Freddie about it because it's good race E85. I think we can get away with 15 to 1. But see, this engine doesn't have any knock sensors on it. So I'll just talk to Freddie about that and see how he wants to do it since he's doing all the tune work on it. Before we swing for the fences, I don't want to put any more than 15 to 1 in it. So we're gonna get with the guys over at Race Tech Pistons and get another version of this piston going like right now, and because we need to get this thing back together quick. So anyways, I think that's it for this video. I think we'll get parts in here, and the next time you see the big block drift spec 001, it's gonna be back. 001 R1. There you go. 001 R1. It'll be back in the car, so it's gonna be super cool. So anyways, like, subscribe, all that happy stuff. Make sure you don't forget about our giveaway. It's gonna be ending here really quick. We got really cool stuff like my flashlight that I leave everywhere. It's like my drink. I can't remember where I ever put that stupid flashlight. That's why I have like 50 of them. I own like 50 of them, then I just put them everywhere, so I just know where they're at all the time. But anyways, stuff like that and really cool merch. So make sure you go grab some of that stuff. And we're thinking about some new stuff. Somewhere down the road here, we're gonna do some kind of drift spec T-shirt too. Let me know if you guys would be interested in a drift spec big block T-shirt. I think that would be cool. You think that'd be cool? I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be cool. All right. Have a great day.